joining me live out of Los Angeles now is Variety's chief correspondent and the co-host of Variety's The Take, Elizabeth Wagmeister. Elizabeth, good afternoon where you are. What has happened since last night? I think we are all still trying to digest exactly what happened.
Yes, that is what is happening stateside as well. Everybody is just in shock and trying to digest what happened. What I can tell you is this was not planned. This was not any sort of skit. This was true, real, raw human emotion. What you saw there was not expected in any way. We have learned from sources that the day before rehearsal, Chris Rock did not say that joke. So it was off the cuff. It obviously upset Jada Pinkett-Smith. And then Will came to her defense. But as you said, he acted and reacted with violence, which is absolutely not okay. The Academy has said that they don't condone this, but now there's really calls for the Academy to take more action. People are saying, on one hand, you're releasing a statement stating you don't condone violence. On the other hand, you're allowing Will Smith to not only stay at the ceremony, but to go on stage to take over 5 minutes to kind of say his case and give his side of the story. But if this were a seat filler or not a celebrity, they would have been escorted out immediately and quite possibly even arrested.
So what happened since then? I mean, we've seen pictures of him dancing through the night there, some video taken from clubs. I mean, was the rest of the evening fairly uneventful? Has anyone said anything in support of either Chris Rock or Will Smith?
Yes, we have seen many statements made from people in Hollywood, from the comedy community. We've seen a lot of comedians speaking in support of Chris Rock and basically saying that if this is the standard that we're going to set, then you're allowing hecklers to come up on stage, and this could be really dangerous for us. Actually, Judd Apatow, he tweeted something which he swiftly deleted, but he spoke very strongly against Will Smith, and he said he could have killed Chris Rock and that he was completely out of control and that this is not okay. So he's one of the many people to speak up, but we're also seeing quite a bit of support from Will Smith. Last night at the party circuit, we see right there Will with his family at Vanity Fair. Variety, we spoke to many different actors on the red carpet who either didn't say much or did speak in support of Will Smith.
What does this mean long term, do you think, for the Oscars? We know that there's been sagging ratings for a long, long time now. This particular installment, they had tried to condense it, and then you've had this incident which has completely overshadowed it. Do you have what are your personal thoughts about where the Oscars are heading now?
There was a ratings boost. I also think the show was much more enjoyable last night than it was in the years past. So I don't know if we can say that the ratings completely went up because of Will Smith, but I'm sure it didn't hurt. But this, ratings aside, really is the worst nightmare for the Academy. It seems that it is controversy after controversy. You just spoke about removing the 8 categories from the main telecast. When you have a controversy that's bigger than the next controversy that's overshadowing it, that's not good. So the Academy is really trying to find its footing, figure out, what is the future of the Oscars. But I do think the Will Smith moment aside, which it really is a shame that it overshadowed everything. I mean, to look at Jane Campion and Questlove and Jessica Chastain, this is the biggest moment of their career. No one even watched them, getting an Oscar. But I do think that the show was actually really enjoyable. I thought the host did a great job, and there were some history-making, really beautiful moments last night.
We've all heard, I'll just close here, we'll just close with a thought on Will Smith. We all get told he's one of the nicest guys in Hollywood, but this image of him slapping Chris Rock, and then there was the verbal assault as well, this is going to follow him around now for the rest of his career. How much do you think his reputation has been tarnished by this? And could it affect his chance of getting new roles?
I don't think that Hollywood is going to blacklist Will Smith in any way. I don't think this is going to necessarily affect him getting new roles, but I think this has left a mark on his reputation. The damage is done. And I think that people view Will Smith very differently this morning than they did yesterday morning. And you're absolutely right. This has tarnished his reputation. And it's really a shame that he did that to himself, right? I mean, there's no one else that's responsible for this. Chris Rock may have made a joke that was off color. And sure, he could have been upset by that. He could have said something to him afterward. But to react with physical violence and verbal violence on the Oscar night, this is Hollywood's biggest stage. You have a platform, and a responsibility comes with that platform. And when you have millions of people watching you, that's not the answer. So you're absolutely right. This has tarnished his reputation. And unfortunately for him, more than 3 decades in the public eye with an illustrious career, it's always going to have an asterisk now that Will Smith, when he won his first Oscar, he slapped Chris Rock on that stage.
Yeah, and Russell Crowe comes to mind, the phone incident in New York, the violence attached to that. He had to wear that baggage and still does in many regards. He sort of...
And he lost the Oscar that year, which was in the aftermath of that moment.
Yeah, he became quite unpopular for a few years after that, so maybe the same now will be for Will Smith. Elizabeth, good to get you with us this morning. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you for having me.